For those who grew up poor, what did you consider a luxury? Parents staying home. I was always alone. I got pretty excited to be given my own bed. Being allowed to turn on the heat during the winter. And also being able to hire a professional to fix broken appliances, plumbing, etc. Going places during school vacation. The kids would be all like, "What? You've never been to XYZ amusement park?" "No. Trisha. My family doesn't even have a car." Which is another luxury to me. My mom had 7 children in 10 years. 1950 to 1960. I remember having a whole bottle. Those smallish glass ones that came out of the machine for 10 cents. Of soft drink to myself instead of sharing one bottle between all 7 of us. I was perhaps 5 years old. I still remember this as the best thing ever. Staying at someone's house who wasn't poor. Like a relative or friend. Their house was also so clean. Beautiful. Pictures on the wall, knickknacks on the counter. And carpet you could play on because it was clean. I spent my entire teenage years hiding where I lived. A hot shower. Cold showers were always available. But when you scraped enough cash to get some diesel fuel and get the burner to kick on long enough to have a hot shower, man. Absolutely nothing better. Buying new clothes. The days I justify ordering all kinds of dumb stuff online, but I've always felt a mental block on buying new clothes. It feels like an unjustified luxury because I always got by on second-hand clothes and free t-shirts. New clothes. I grew up pretty poor. No TV, no toys. But had a Sears catalog. My dad got in a serious accident when I was in 4th grade and almost lost his life. He won a small settlement from the community college he was working at, and I was able to buy new clothes for the first time in my life. Before this, all I ever had were hand-me-downs from my cousin and donation clothes from the church. Most were worn to the point of having patches on the knees. The worst part about getting new clothes for the first time is I felt terrible the whole time picking out new clothes because I always felt like a financial burden to my parents. I remember going to Miller's Outpost and picking out typical 80s clothes. Op, TNC, etc. It's funny how growing up poor affects my everyday choices. For better or worse. I'll never outgrow some of the feelings I had as a poor kid, and I feel for any kid who has to endure a childhood of poverty. It will affect them and their choices for the rest of their life. Edit. Thanks to everyone who understands how one can feel so self-conscious about how it feels to have less than others. Y'all are an amazing community. Stay safe out there. Honestly didn't know that pasta-roni was $1 until I was a grown-ass man. I thought that was some gourmet shit. Where to begin? I grew up dirt poor. Like lived in a car for a while poor. Gloves. Nope, we had bread bags around our hands. Do you want milk in your cereal? Great. Add some water to this dehydrated milk and toss it into your old margarine bowl. I shit you not. I didn't have toys for a lot of my childhood, so I would cut them out of the newspaper ad and use them. I would make noises when I balled up the Transformer ones like they were changing forms. Parents. The last year my mother was on this earth, my brother and I walked 3 miles to beg her to come home for Mother's Day because she was at another man's house. My dad spent a significant chunk of my childhood in prison, and the men who my mom would see. 90% of them beat us. Sorry folks that got deep, thanks for letting me rant. Going to the movie theater. Having my own bedroom. My mother used to consider any kind of cereal a luxury. They only had 1 box a month. Brand name cereal was for the upper class. Man. Having breakfast. It's gotten to the point where I can't eat in the morning because my body is so used to waiting. Grew up pretty poor in Arkansas in a trailer. I literally got a door to my bedroom for Christmas one year. It probably still was the best gift I ever received. Edit. Whoa. Didn't expect this to blow up. I guess I tapped into the vein of my poor Arky brethren. Goo pig su ooey. Edit 2. Reading through the comments. I'm surprised so many others didn't have doors either. Feels good so many can relate. I don't know if anyone can relate. But in about 3rd, maybe 4th grade. Me and my twin brother had a music class where we were both required to buy a recorder. Like a plastic flute thing. Well, my mom said we didn't have the money, so my twin brother and I tore the whole house up in search of $6 for 2 recorders. We brought a Ziploc bag full of change, pennies, nickels, dimes, etc. I think the teacher felt sorry for us. 'Cause she paid for our recorders when the rest of the students left the room. Gave us the Ziploc bag back. Thank you, Mrs. Albrecht. Edit. Well shit. Never thought I'd get this sort of response. Let alone even a single award. Thank you to all those kind souls who gave me one. School parties where everyone brought something to share for lunch. If you don't bring something, you don't get to participate. I brought 2 carrots after not being able to afford school lunch for 2 years. Even the teacher laughed at me. My young self just decided that day that some people don't deserve lunch. Edit. Holy shit, guys. I just woke up. But thank you for all of your kindness and all of these awards. I didn't expect this at all. I'm in a better place financially now. As some have asked. So don't worry. That was so many years ago. I have decided that my children, should I choose to have them, will have what they need when they need it. I hope all of you have such blessed, happy days. Because you've made me smile. 2. A new winter coat. I don't remember having a new winter coat until I was probably 14 or 15. They had always been hand-me-downs from my cousins. They were usually at least 10 years old by the time I got them, and the stuffing would be all clumped up. Doritos. Or any name brand chips. Actually, in middle school I was on reduced school meals, so it would be 40 for lunch. So my parents would always give me 2 quarters every morning for lunch. Now the cafeteria would also sell cookies, which wasn't part of the lunch set, for 50 each. So saving 10 each day, I could afford 1 cookie by Friday's lunch. Good times. Edit. RIP inbox. I was wondering why my phone was blowing up at 7 a.m. haha. Air conditioning. Sometimes we had a jacked up old window unit that would cool down my parents' room on the hottest of summer nights, and we would sleep in sleeping bags on their floor. Sometimes it was broke. Sometimes it just wasn't hot enough to justify running it. Never during the day though. That's what the library was for. For my school's Spirit Week, they had a thrift shop day, where most everyone dressed in old ratty clothes, or the weirdest stuff they could find in a thrift shop. Needless to say, as someone whose clothes were 80% secondhand, it was an eye-opener. I remember in 8th grade on my birthday at school, one of my teachers asked me what gifts I had received. He asked in front of the whole class. I excitedly shared that I would be getting contact lenses. My parents let me choose one thing that I wanted, and I desperately wanted to stop wearing the broken glasses I had, which I usually didn't wear. One of the boys in class made a comment like, "Contacts aren't a present." And my teacher had to explain to him again in front of everyone that for some families they were too expensive not to be a luxury. After that experience, I worked 2 and 3 jobs in high school so I could buy myself and my brothers the things we needed. The first thing I bought with my money from my first job as a hostess at a diner was a queen-size bed, because my twin mattress was about 20 years old, and at 15 I was having back problems and issues with rusted springs poking me. Taking a bath. I mean, we bathed every night. But it was by heating up water that we would go to the park down the road to get in 5-gallon jugs, and filling up a mop bucket to wash off with. Staying over at a friend or family member's house and getting to take an actual shower was amazing though. Being able to get candy at a store, new school supplies, brand name food,